Hi guys, this is my In a Rush makeup tutorial. I can do this makeup in about 10 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is apply my mattifying primer stick. This primer stick is by Hard Candy, and I'm going to be using a mattifying primer stick today because I'm going to be using a cream foundation. And as you guys may know, cream foundations can be on the oily side, and I want my foundation to be matte as possible. That is why I'm using a mattifying primer. The second primer I'm going to be using is by Absolute New York. This is called the Fresh Prep First Step Primer Spray. I'm going to be using this primer because I want the foundation to glide and be smooth as possible as I apply it. And the primer spray is going to allow the foundation to apply very smoothly and glide on the skin. The foundation that I'm going to be using is by Black Opal. It's called the True Color Pore Perfecting Cream to Powder Foundation. The color that I'm going to be using is 620 Carob, and I'm going to be applying it with an AOA brush. The number of the brush is F23. It is a flat top foundation brush. It's very similar to the F powder foundation brush. I'm just going to swirl it into the product and apply it to my face as evenly as possible. When I'm applying my foundation in a hurry, I'm just slapping it on my face and applying it as fast and quick as possible because I need to be out the door quickly as possible. The next step I'm going to be doing is kind of spot concealing, and I'm going to be applying it to my cheeks where my hyperpigmentation is. I'm just going to be applying an extra layer of coverage to my hyperpigmentation. And the cream foundation can be very good in the wintertime because in the wintertime your skin, my skin is a lot drier than it would be in the summer, and the cream foundation gives it some more moisture, and it looks very good in the winter as well. It gives your face a nice glow. And the next step is applying concealer. The concealer that I'm going to be applying is the Old Faithful LA Girl Pro Conceal. The color I'm using is Toast. I'm just going to be applying it underneath my eyes, around my mouth area, and in my smile lines. And when I'm in a hurry, I'm using the same brush that I use for my foundation. I see no problem with it because I'm not really highlighting and using a lighter concealer. My concealer is the same color as my foundation, so I'm using the same brush that I use for my foundation. And after I apply my concealer, it's time for my powder. And again, I'm using the same foundation brush. And since we're in the Black Opal family, I'm going to use my Black Opal True Color Ultra Matte Foundation Powder. And the color I'm using is 700 Deep. And I'm applying this all over my face in a stamping motion. I'm using a stamping motion because I don't want to move those creams. I don't want to move the cream foundation as well as the concealer. And when I'm done with my powdering my face, I'm going to move on to bronzer. Bronzer is a step that I do not like to skip, even if I'm in a rush. The bronzer that I'm using is the Shea Moisture Illuminating Powder in Mandalay Dusk. This powder is discontinued, unfortunately. I wish they would bring it back because it is absolutely beautiful on dark skin. I actually have a backup of it, so I won't be running out of it anytime soon. And once I'm done with my bronzer, I'm going to move on to blush. I like to use blush even when I'm in a hurry because it gives your face some color. The blush that I'm going to be using is by Black Radiance. It's in the color Rich Peach. Do not be intimidated by this blush. It is super pigmented, but you need to go in with a very light hand. You see that I swirled in it kind of a lot, but I made sure I blew some of that pigment off. And even when I did go in with the blush, I made sure that I went over my blush with a little bit of bronzer just to tone it down because I didn't want to look clownish. And I'm going over my blush with my bronzer right here. And right here, I'm going in with my mascara, which is my L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. And the color that I'm using is Black is Black. I'm just going in with a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with my Clean Color mattifying finishing spray. This is just going to make sure that my foundation stays matte all day. And I'm just going to fan my face. And then I'm going to put on my glasses and apply my lip gloss. The lip gloss that I'm using is called Supernatural by Revlon. And I'm moving my lights a little bit so you guys can see the finished look a little better. And that is my finished look, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys can follow along, and maybe you can do a quick out the door look similar to mine. All right, guys, you have a great day, and rate, comment, and subscribe.